Alright guys, so here's the review for the test that y'all should be taking tomorrow. The first part is just the proofs that we actually did in class. So let's skip down to number 5. It says if point B is between A and C and AB equals BC, then B is the midpoint of AC. And we know that because of the definition of midpoint. Definition of midpoint tells us that if there's a point and it makes two equal parts, then that is the midpoint. Number 6, it says if the measure of angle APB plus the measure of angle DEF is equal to 180, then those two angles are supplementary. And that's by the definition of supplementary. It says that anytime I have two angles that when added together equals 180, they're supplementary. And the last one, if point B is between A and C, then AB plus BC equals AC. And we know that because it's the segment addition postulate. It tells us that if I take the two parts and add them together, it equals the whole thing. So let's look at number 8. Most of us did number 8 in class, but just in case you weren't paying attention, the first thing you should always do on one of these is draw a picture. It starts off with HJ bisecting IHL. So bisect means it divides into two equal parts. And then it says HK bisects IHJ. So another line going through here, and this would be K, and that means this part would be equal to this part. Well, it says that IHK is 31 degrees, so that would mean that KHJ is also 31 degrees. And since this whole thing is 62 degrees, this whole other part over here is 62 degrees. So when it says find the measure of angle IHL, it would be 62 plus 62, which is 124 degrees. Number 9. If S is the midpoint of TV, so I have TV and S is the midpoint, I know that these two parts are equal because it's the definition of midpoint. It says that TS is 4x minus 7 and SB is 5x minus 15. So since the two parts are equal, I need to set them equal to each other to find x. So then I solve for x and get that x is equal to 8. So once I know that x is equal to 8, I can plug that into TS to get that TS is equal to 25. And TS is just part of it. I need the whole thing. So TS times 2 would give me the whole thing, which is 50. So TV would be equal to 50. All right, let's move on to number 10. Number 10, I feel like we may have done this one in class too. Number 10 is a picture of ABC with BR bisecting it. Remember, bisecting means cutting it into two equal parts. It says that ABC, the whole thing, is 3 times 2x minus 5, and it says that ABR is a half x plus 5. Well, since this angle is being bisected, I know that if this is a half x plus 5, so is this. So now I can use the angle addition postulate. A half x plus 5 plus a half x plus 5 equals 3 times 2x minus 5. So now it's combining like terms and getting rid of my parentheses. 1x plus 10 equals 6x minus 15. And then solving for x to get that x is equal to 5. So then it asks, find the measure of angle RBC. Well, RBC is a half x plus 5. So a half times 5 plus 5 would give me 7.5 degrees. And don't forget your degree symbol, because it's like 10 points off. So the next one, number 11. If M is the midpoint of AB, then I know that these two parts are equal. It says AM is 3x plus 4 over 5, and MB is 2x minus 4 over 3. So in order to solve for x, I should set these two equal to each other. And we practiced last class simplifying one of these by multiplying by its diagonal. So 3 times 3x plus 4 equals 5 times 2x minus 4. So when I solve for x, I have to first get rid of my parentheses and then I would get that x equals 32 once I've simplified. Once I know that x equals 32, I can plug that back into my equation. I'm finding AB, the whole thing, so if I look for AM first, 3 times 32 plus 4 divided by 5. I get that AM is equal to 20. Well, that's only part of it, and I need the whole thing. But this part's 20, this part has to be 20. So AB is equal to 40. Alright, let's look at number 12. Number 12 says I have an angle ABC and D is in the interior of it. It says that the whole thing is 2x squared, ABD is x squared plus 1, and DBC is 3 times 2x minus 3. So I'm going to use the angle addition postulate that says the whole thing is equal to the sum of its parts. So I added the two angles together, and then I set it equal to 2x squared. So now I'm just going to simplify what's on the right side. And one more time simplifying. So now that I know that I have an x squared in my answer, I know I'm going to end up with x equals something or x equals something else. So I need to move all my numbers and everything to one side so I can factor. So I'm going to subtract x squared, subtract 6x, and add 8 to get 1x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. So then when I factor, I know I'm going to have an x in front of both parentheses because in the front of both parentheses because there's a 1 in front of my x squared. I need to find two numbers that multiply together to be 8 but add together to be negative 6. In this case it's minus 4 and minus 2. So then when I solve each of these for x, I get that x equals 4 and x equals 2. So now I need to try both of these in my equation. 3 times 2 times 4 minus 3 would give me 15 degrees. And then 3 times 2 times 2 minus 3 would give me 3 degrees. So either one of these answers would work. Now on the test, if you come up with one of these as a negative degrees, we know that wouldn't be the answer because we can't have negative degrees. Number 13. I have a point B somewhere between A and C. Not necessarily in the middle. It says that AC, this whole thing, is 22, BC is x plus 14, and AB is x plus 10. It says to find x. Well, in this case, I know to find x, I can use this segment addition postulate. This plus this equals the whole thing. So x plus 10 plus x plus 14 equals 22. So when I simplify and combine my like terms, I end up with 2x plus 24 equals 22, and then I just solve for x. And I end up with x equals negative 1.